Welcome back, friends. It's your buddy Tactical, back with another blade. Today we got the Spyderco ARK, or Always Ready knife. Man, now I seen the pictures, I'm like, oh, check out the blade shape. Oh, cool. But then I pulled it out of the package and I was like, I'm like, are you serious? Man, I read the specs, but I guess it didn't hit me as to really how big this thing is. This thing is friggin' little. Now, just as a size comparison, here's the CRKT Minimalist. Now the Minimalist is actually longer. I can get that into shot for you, sorry about that. The blade's a little bit smaller. Cutting edge, I think the Spyderco is a hair longer. But man, maybe it's because of how thin it is. Now, if you want a knife that's like the most discreet neck knife frickin' ever, oh hell yeah, this is all you. But man, I like something it does have a really good shape, but it's just so darn little. I was kind of bummed out. Not dissing the knife, it's a nice knife, we'll go over the stuff, but it kind of bummed me out how light and little it was. Okay, the weight, 2 ounces. That's frickin' it. This thing is so, wow. It's just ridiculous. Look how thin that is. Miss Tack's like, wow, that's like credit card thin. It is. The steel is H1, which is supposed to be like the most rust resistant steel pretty much there is that I know of. I don't know. But just telling you what it is. Nice clip point, partial hollow grind. The handle is FRN. You know how they do their FRN. They always do it really good. I hate FRN, but how Spyderco does it, I love the texture. You know, the handle shape's pretty decent. You know, it's a dinky little knife. Little lanyard. I don't know why. But yeah, there you go. I do love the blade shape. The blade shape is freaking cool. Now the blade length is 2.5 inch. The actual cutting edge is 2.1. Overall length is 4.98, so just under 5 inches. Retail is $100. Woo. And even so, I still bought it for $65. And even Miss Tack looked at me like, what, $65 for that? I said, I know. Now we'll come to the sheath. Here you go. Ultra flat, look at that. Comes with your little cheesy chain. You can always swap it for paracord or whatever. Spyderco symbol, cool. Everything looks cool, right? Well, you put it in. It's kind of goofy, one going in. And a lot of times, see that? You gotta kind of angle it and make it go in. It wasn't like easy deployment. It comes out easy, but going in is kind of like you gotta fumble with it a little bit. For some reason, maybe it's just mine. Hopefully you don't get one like that. And that's another thing. Okay, rattle. I don't want this thing to go flying out. It's not rattling, but for deployment, I mean, it's almost too easy. I was like, wow, is this really gonna be safe and not fall out? I found it slipped like that much before just wearing it. Just a tiny bit. I was like, ooh, I'm waiting for that thing to come down, and it's under my shirt, so it'd cut your chest open. So I was kind of like worried about it. So I'm not gonna really go out and test it. I'm not gonna go beat it up against a freaking log. Come on, it's a tiny little neck knife. I have done neck knives before, but man, this thing, besides just doing regular little cutting tasks or skinning it would be good. Look at that blade shape. That'd work awesome for that. Yeah, you could use for a defensive, and you know, it's like the backup of backup, and it's super thin. If you want something that you can hide easy, this thing is awesome for that. If you want something totally small, but you still got a blade, this is awesome. The H1 steel, I'm not sure about the edge retention on it. I don't know if it's that great. I don't think it is, but I know it's high stain or rust resistant. Salt water, got it up against your chest, you're sweating a lot, that's make your blade rust, and so this won't really. That's kind of cool. Man, I just wish it was a hair, I don't know, thicker, bigger. For discreet, yeah, you want it that thin. But I don't know. It's just my personal preference, so don't take it as gospel. That's just what I like. You know, I'm trying to be non-biased, but you know, I'm just telling it how it is. For a discreet blade, hell yeah, I'd recommend it. For me, if I knew how thin and light this was, I probably wouldn't have bought it. I did read the specs, but I guess it just didn't hit me or it didn't soak in. So I was like, wow. I'm like, man, I hope I don't break this thing. You know. But hey, there you go. There it is. 1 to 10. Neck knives. Good handle shape. good blade shape. Even though it's dinky, you are locked in pretty well. Look at that. That's why I bought it. I love the design. I was like, oh, but I thought it was just a hair bigger for some reason. And that kind of let me down a little bit. Neck knives. You know, it's a good steel. It's a good design. It's a Spyderco. Me not being biased and dissing it, I'd say probably like an 8. Or at least a 7 3/4. But for me, for me personally, what I like, and it'd be less. It'd be lower. But for a non-biased review, I'm going to tell it how it is. I'm not going to be biased. I give it like an 8 because it is awesome. But for me, it's not so awesome. And if I knew what I knew, I probably wouldn't have bought it. But hey, there you go. Thanks as always for stopping by. Until the next time we meet.